The story begins with a tense scene. A man enters a young boy's room late at night, moving slowly and pointing a gun at him. The man appears distressed and terrified, whispering apologies to the child. Suddenly, amidst the tension, the gun fires accidentally. The scene shifts to several months earlier, introducing Mark and Jessie, a couple visiting an orphanage to adopt a child. They meet Natalie, the caretaker, who introduces them to an 8-year-old boy named Cody. Natalie explains Cody's tragic backstory. His mother passed away years ago, and his father has never been in the picture. Cody has had a difficult time with foster parents, with his last guardians abandoning him for a month before he was rescued. While Cody suffers from sleep-related issues, Natalie assures them he is a smart and kind child perfect for their family. Mark and Jessie, who recently lost their son Sean in a tragic bathtub accident, decide to adopt Cody in hopes of finding some solace and healing from their grief. They welcome Cody home with a beautifully decorated house and carefully remove all photos of Sean, except for one family picture. They even install an extra safety handle by the bathtub to prevent any similar accidents. Jessie shares the news of Cody's adoption with her self-help group, which supports their decision wholeheartedly. Jessie, still grappling with insomnia due to Sean's death, finds hope in Cody's arrival. The next day, Mark and Jessie eagerly wait for Cody's arrival. When Natalie brings him, the couple warmly greets him. Cody brings a box of his belongings, and Mark helps him carry it inside. Upon entering, Cody's eyes are drawn to the family picture on the wall, and he stares at it intently. Mark distracts him by showing him the game collection and his new room, which Cody loves, especially the butterfly curtains. Natalie explains that Cody has a passion for collecting butterflies. That night, the couple wishes Cody goodnight. After they leave, Cody opens his box, takes out a soda can, and sips it while reading books about butterflies by flashlight. He stays awake the entire night. The following day is Cody's first day at school, where he befriends a girl named Annie in class. Meanwhile, Jessie, sorting through Cody's clothes, discovers his secret box. It contains books about butterflies, a stash of soda cans, and a mysterious liquid. That night, Jessie gently asks Cody about it. He explains that he drinks soda to stay awake because if he falls asleep, the canker man comes. Jessie assumes this is just a scary character from Cody's imagination and reassures him that it will go away over time. However, Cody believes otherwise. He is convinced the canker man killed his mother and will always be with him. After putting Cody to bed, Jessie goes to her room to join Mark. She feels deeply regretful for opening Cody's box without his permission, recognizing that she invaded his privacy. Mark reassures her, saying she acted out of concern for Cody's well-being. Later, while watching a movie together, the couple is startled when the room suddenly fills with a swarm of butterflies. It's the first time they've seen so many at once, and Jessie moves to close the window. As soon as she does, all the butterflies vanish, leaving them bewildered. That night, Jessie has trouble sleeping. While getting water in the kitchen, she hears strange noises and begins checking the house, thinking an intruder might have entered. Suddenly, she sees Sean standing in the living room. Startled, she drops her glass, and when she looks back, Sean is gone. Alarmed, Jessie checks on Cody, but he is peacefully asleep. The next day, Jessie discusses the incident with her self-help group, wondering if Sean might be upset about Cody taking his place in the family. Cody also brings up Sean and asks questions about him, which Jessie answers lovingly. That night, butterflies and Sean reappear, this time with him wearing the same clothes from the family photo. Mark and Jessie are shocked and move closer to touch Sean, realizing he feels completely real. But then he vanishes suddenly. At the same moment, Cody wakes up and comes downstairs to apologize to the couple. The next morning, breakfast is unusually tense. Jessie and Mark don't know what to say, both still shaken by Sean's reappearance. They begin to suspect that Cody's dreams are somehow bringing Sean to life. Later, after Cody returns from school, the family watches old Christmas videos together, reminiscing happily. That night, after putting Cody to bed, Jessie and Mark sit in the living room. Suddenly, the room lights up with Christmas decorations, and a tree appears out of nowhere. Sean then materializes, dressed in the same clothes from the video. It feels as though the video has come to life, leaving Mark and Jessie stunned. Finally, They realize Cody has supernatural powers. His dreams come to life while he sleeps and disappear when he wakes up. The next day at school, Cody draws a picture and scribbles over it aggressively. When his friend Annie asks, he explains it's a drawing of the Canker Man, and ruining the picture helps keep it away. At home, Jessie begins hanging Sean's photos back on the walls, hoping to see her son again. However, Mark disagrees, accusing Jessie of using Cody to fulfill her selfish desires. Jessie insists Cody is the only one who can ease her pain, but Mark refuses to agree and takes down the pictures again. The following day, Cody brings a jar with a butterfly to school, but a bully named Tate smashes it. Frightened by the Canker Man, Cody hadn't slept the entire night, which caused him to fall asleep in class. During lunch, his teacher allows him to rest. As he dreams, Cody finds himself alone in the classroom. Suddenly, the Canker Man appears in his dream, and horrifyingly, it also manifests in the real world within the classroom. 8 enters Cody's class again to bully him, but during this time, the Canker Man attacks Tate. Annie witnesses the attack and screams in fear. Cody wakes up, but Tate has disappeared. Shortly after, the police arrive at the school to investigate Tate's disappearance. Cody realizes he can no longer risk sleeping, so he begins drinking coffee to stay awake. That night, Cody reads a book about butterflies, as he often does. Suddenly, he hears a noise. When he looks under his bed, Tate's ghost appears and pulls him under. Cody struggles and screams, "I'm awake." At the same time, Sean appears in front of Jessie, repeating the same words, "I'm awake." Cody screams again, causing the dream to dissipate. Jessie rushes to him, asking what happened and trying to calm him down. The next day, a police officer visits the family to ask Cody questions about Tate's disappearance. Later that evening, Cody asks Mark and Jessie about Sean's death, but they avoid answering. That night, Jessie secretly adds sleeping pills to Cody's milk to help him rest but doesn't inform Mark. Before Cody falls asleep, Mark tells him the truth about Sean's death, that he drowned. Due to the sleeping pills, Cody sleeps soundly. While Jessie and Mark are watching TV in the living room, Sean appears once again, but this time he looks furious. Suddenly, Sean vomits onto Jessie. Mark rushes to Cody's room to wake him up, but Cody doesn't stir because of the drugs. The dream begins to escalate into a terrifying nightmare. Back in the living room, the Canker Man materializes. Jessie runs to Cody's room and locks the door. Mark grows increasingly panicked, unable to wake Cody. Jessie then confesses that she gave Cody sleeping pills. The Canker Man breaks into the room and attacks Mark, seemingly consuming him. Jessie faints from fear. The next morning, Jessie regains consciousness to find Cody calling 911. Mark is nowhere to be found. The police arrive, and during their investigation, they discover that the couple had been giving Cody sleeping pills. Authorities take Cody into custody, accusing Jessie and Mark of child abuse. Heartbroken, Jessie sobs over losing Cody. She seeks custody of him again through Natalie, but is denied because of the accusations of abuse. Desperate, Jessie notices Cody's file on the table and secretly steals it. Through the file, she learns about a man named Waylon Young, who had adopted Cody before her family. Jessie visits Waylon, who reveals that Cody lived with him and his wife for 15 months. However, one day, the Canker Man from Cody's dreams consumed Waylon's wife. Enraged, Waylon wanted to kill Cody and entered his room with a gun. During the commotion, a gunshot went off and Cody woke up. This scene mirrors the one shown at the beginning of the film. Waylon warns Jessie, suggesting that she should end Cody's life to prevent others from falling victim to his nightmares. However, Jessie refuses to harm Cody and leaves determined to help him. From the file, Jessie learns about Cody's mother and discovers hospital records. She decides to visit the hospital for further investigation. The hospital administration provides her with Cody's mother's belongings, which include a butterfly-shaped pillow and a diary. Upon reading the reports in the diary, Jessie uncovers the truth about the Canker Man determined to resolve the issue. She heads back to the orphanage to find Cody. At the orphanage, Cody hasn't slept for several nights, so the staff administers a sleep-inducing injection. As Jessie enters the building, she encounters terrifying manifestations in every room, all stemming from Cody's nightmares. First, she is frightened by the sound of black insects fluttering. Then she sees Sean drowning in a bathtub. Next, a horrifying woman appears and twists Cody's head. Finally, Mark appears before her, leaving her terrified. Jessie closes the door to escape and continues until she reaches Cody's room. In the room, the canker man charges at her to attack. Instead of running, Jessie shows him the butterfly-shaped pillow. The canker man stops in his tracks upon seeing it. Jessie gently approaches and embraces him. As she does, the canker man transforms back into a vulnerable, childlike Cody and disappears. Jessie takes the sleeping Cody outside. Meanwhile, Natalie, who had been rendered unconscious by the canker man, regains consciousness. She sees Jessie leaving with Cody but chooses not to stop them. Jessie and Cody witness a magical transformation as beautiful butterflies fill the lounge. The nightmare has turned into a peaceful dream. The next day, Jessie tells Cody about his mother, Andrea, who had passed away from cancer. Andrea had known about Cody's magical dreams when he was very young and had documented everything in her diary. However, when Cody was 3 years old, Andrea was diagnosed with cancer. He had seen his mother deteriorate during her final stages, thin, bald, and weak. Unable to comprehend the situation fully, Cody's young mind associated his mother with a monster. He created the concept of the canker man, believing it was this entity that took his mother away. Over time, this idea solidified in his nightmares. Though Mark and the others consumed by the canker man have not yet returned, Jessie believes there's hope that they might reappear as Cody.